Hi there, this is Lee from Lee's Garage. I'm installing spark plug wires, new spark plug wires on new cap and rotor over here. Now you can see I got 6 of the 8 done, and I'm moving ahead. I'm going to show you what procedure I'm using. The trick here is I am custom fitting them so that they look reasonable and don't have to do loop-de-doops on the way. I'm doing some other work, which is a vacuum gauge, but I'll show you how I'm doing it. I do them one at a time. In this case, we're cutting the ends that go on the distributor because we have these very nifty ceramic insulators for the spark plugs, so we don't burn up spark plug boots. So next one I'm going to do is number 7, which goes back there, and that's the back cylinder on the other side of the engine. This is a Chevy 350 V8, or really a Chevy 383. I think that's a longer stroke. And 7's that one spark plug back there. And it's going to go to there, to the top one of the 2 you see open. And I'll be back in a minute showing you the procedure. Okay. I'm doing number 7, and this spark plug wire, as you can see, is way too long to go from there to there. But I'm gonna put the plug connector on and route the wire the way I want it to go up to the distributor. Try to get an approximate length, and you can see I should cut it there. I'm going to add about an inch or 2 and cut it up there. The way I'm doing this is I have a twist tie that I can open again, and thread the wire on. Just put it there as a marker, and pull it out. Now, because this one's easy to pull off, I'm going to pull it off the plug. I know how long I want, and I'll be back with you in a second. Okay, hope you got a good shot here of this. Here's the wire with the marker on it. There's my little remote control for the camera. By the way, I'm using a plain old iPhone SE for this job, for filming it. There's my marker. I'm going to cut it an inch or 2 longer than that. And then remove this. Grease down the thing. Now this is dielectric grease. It's a special grease that just kind of sits there with all this high voltage around, so it doesn't cause a problem. I have to put this boot on and the end. The tools I'm using are this very fancy Pertronix crimper. Others will do, but it's gotta be able to do spark plug wire connectors. And this is one of 6 die sets for this crimper. I have all of those back. excuse me, good diagonal cutters that cut. They don't cut, don't use them. So I put a little bit of dielectric grease in here, and this is probably the hardest part, but if you grease it good, it works. And I grease it, push it through as far as I can. I get it right to here. If you could look in the hole, you'd see the end of it. And I have a good hemostat, and I try straightening this thing out with my fingers, and my fingers aren't very good right now. I'm 64 years old, and they're starting to lose their elasticity, or whatever you call it. I grab the end of the wire and I pull it through. Wipe it off. And now I have this fancy little MSD gadget for cutting the wire, and you insert the wire into this hole. Like that, and you cut it along this flat edge, and it's not supposed to go through the insulator, but this is an MSD wire, and it's not working as well as I'd like. Now, what we're going to do now is cut the conductor's length. So we got to take about that much off of the end and leave the conductor in the middle behind. So I have to cut halfway through this wire. I'm doing about 1 inch. That's why I cut the wire long. And you just kind of break the outer insulation and roll the wire under the blade. Don't go all the way through. You probably want to practice this. There'll be lots of extra wires, so cut off a little piece and try it a couple times. And I get it off, and you pull it off, and there's the conductor. And I grab my end connector, which they have different connectors for spark plugs or whatever kind of distributor cap you have. So make sure you got the right connector for yours. I got the pokey style GMHEI, and so this is the connector for that, and the boot goes with the connector. And I'm just trying to scrunch it down a little bit so it fits. And I'm going to load this connector. I don't need to hold on to that, but I'm going to load the connector into the jaws of the grip. And this wire, I'm going to fold over like this and shove it in the end. You probably can't see that, but don't go too far. And then grab it, and it's a bear to crunch this down. I don't know if this is going right, but yeah, it's fine. There we are. That's crimped on. Pull it back in. Now, don't go too far when you pull the wire back in, because if you go too far, then you got to shove it into the hole with the connector. So I watch it very carefully, and when it's laying flat in the hole, the wire is done. I put my wire marker on, using these MSD fancy wire markers, and I can go and install this pre-cut wire now. See ya. Okay, I'll hit the button this time. Number 7 wires installed. You can see it there. Is that in focus? I don't know. And it's the number 2 wire, I think, that's not connected yet. But you can see that looks pretty nice. Everything's marked. I marked that end with the wire number because I know which cylinder each of these is. But you might want to put the markers down here, and that's fine. Or you want to buy 2 sets and put them anywhere. Just do it to make it look nice and neat, and keep it out of speedometer throttle cables and kick down cables and springs and wires. Make sure. Now I'm going to wrap those wires where they go under that bracket tight with a bracket, and we'll be done. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to do just a quick review at a different camera angle. You're looking down at me now. Maybe you can see this better. The wire's already cut to length. So put the wire marker on down here. Doesn't matter where it is. Put the goo on. Don't get the order wrong. If you forget to put the boot on and crimp it with no boot, you're going to be very sorry. Don't forget that. Guess who has done that? Now look at this. I got 2 extra boots. This is the last one of the 8. So grease it up good. Shove it in. Grab it with the hemostat and spread it out, and spread the boot with the hemostat too. As you shove in and grab the wire, you'll know when you have it, and you pull it through. Ah! Did you get that? That was special. Maybe I'll show you that in slow motion. Okay. Wipe it off. And because this is the last plug wire, I can close up the dielectric grease. Permatex. Can you see that? Hope so. Okay. Got that done. Now, gonna need a connector. I got this. Now I have to trim the end with the razor blade. This is going to be the length of the conductor sticking out. And I slice down, break just the outer skin and a little bit beyond that. Don't go too far. But if you cut the wires long and you screw this up, you can do it again. That's how much I took off. These wires have these little fiberglass things that I don't like, so I cut them off so that they don't get involved in the process. And you need very sharp dikes. I use Klein tools. I'm not, well, what the hell. I like Klein tools. Go buy Klein tools. Advertising. They work well. This set of Pertronics crimpers are not unique. They're available, and they're available in a whole lot of brands. But you got to make sure to do this job that you have the crimper set for doing spark plug wires. Okay, I load this into the, it's important you do it right. If you're right-handed, you do it one way. If you're left-handed, you do it the other way. You make sure that the legs of the crimp are outside. I'm going to be squeezing in a second. Right now, I'm just holding it. I'm going to bend over the conductor. See, my fingers just ain't doing what they used to be able to do. Push this through to about there. Crimp the hell out of it, and then spin the boot around so that you can pull the crimp right in, and we're done. Another completed wire. Thanks, guys. Okay, freehand again. Tied up the wires with clamps, and they just nicely go to the distributor. They're all marked. Got a table here. Here's my fancy equipment. Here's the other side. Now, this number 1 wire may be a little long, but I left it that way so you can clearly put a timing light on it. It sticks out, has a little extra length, not a big deal. Looks good though. Have a great day.